Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Coming in hot.
Check 1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2. This thing on.
Yeah. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Like butter.
Like butter, baby. On a stack of pancakes.
Flapjacks. All right. All the plugs plugged in.
All the systems are go.
All systems go. Track kind of funky.
Man, kind of.
I wish I'd have made it.
Man, I'm so tired, Marsh.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of
Hey.
you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. The year is moving right along.
Man,
Quickly.
man. Swiftly.
Yeah, man. It's getting cold outside, all that stuff.
Already.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, bundle up, get ready for that winter coming. It's coming fast, I'm already anticipating next spring, man. I'm like,
man, looking forward.
Wish I can just skip right on over it. But it is what it is. So, like the old folks say, happy to be on this side of the grass, whatever the weather. Good morning to y'all. How you feeling, buddy? Good morning to you.
Man, a little down today. I'll be honest. A little blah, but maintaining hope and excitement for the future. Just kind of troubling chapter right now. I'll say that. A lot of things going on.
Okay. Well, you know what, we here for you.
Oh yeah. We still here, like you said, man. Definitely glad to be on this side of the soil, if you will. Definitely good to be seen and not viewed, if you get what I'm saying.
Heard that. We got people in the chat already. Appreciate you getting up early with us this morning. Leia Keister says, "What's up, Wednesday? What's going on?"
Appreciate the enthusiasm.
Yeah, thank you very much. Tamika Johnson gives us some sunshine. Appreciate that. Good morning. I'll take all I can get. These days is getting chilly. Mary Sanchez says, "Knick knack paddywhack." Okay. Give a dog a bone. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in on Facebook.
Yeah, welcome.
Kimara Snipes is already up. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you. Appreciate you over there on YouTube. And Judy Prinzer gives us some good morning. I'm here and feeling better every day. Glad to hear it. Very glad to hear that. Right on. Recovery going good. Getting some rest. Yeah, appreciate that. Kimara says, almost been viewed, so I feel you. Almost been viewed. So I feel you. Thank God for another day. I heard that. Almost been viewed. Yeah, I hear that. Rather, like you said, better to be seen than viewed. I like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Amy H. Dot gives us a good morning. Mira Sanchez says, man, just so you know, I've had a 5-hour round trip commute to work for about a month now. Woof. Yeah, where you live in LA? That's
They sending them out to the boondocks, man. That's their real work. We appreciate you for tuning in. You know, I guess I assume during your morning commute.
Yeah, it's how bad traffic was in California, man. I lived 35 minutes away from my job, and it would take me 2 hours and 15 minutes up and 2 hours and 15 minutes back every day to get to work.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So when I think about times like that, I'm thinking, well, things might be hard now, but things were harder at some at other points in life.
Man, yeah, that's a real exercise in pain. Man, people say Atlanta traffic is bad. I ain't never, had to deal with that.
Yeah, dude.
It was
Yeah.
about 30, 45 minutes to get to where you need to go.
Yeah. If I hung out like after work, went for a drink or something like that, came back late, 35 minutes home, bro, for an hour and a 2 hour and 15-minute drive.
Man.
Mayor Sanchez says Osmond, Nebraska, 161 miles. Never even heard
Okay.
of Osmond, bro.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. Well, stay awake. Hopefully, we're helping you stay awake on while you're on the road and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Drive
Safe
safe.
travels, man. Safe travels.
Judy Prinzer says, holding you up, buddy.
Okay, especially with your new hip, huh?
There you go.
No, I really appreciate it, Judy. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, just y'all presence, man, holds me up, man, and gets me excited to come in and do the show and see everybody coming in and give me your good mornings and all that. So thank you, we appreciate you.
Yeah. I have found that one thing that happens no matter what's going on is when we finally do get on the show, feels good. Feels like
Yeah, it
we can
does,
let
it
the other
does.
stuff go for a while and be in here, in the moment.
Yeah, no, I really understand when Senator Wayne says getting on here, every Monday for them is kind of therapy. Like it's the same. Yeah, I understand.
It's also really good. I really appreciate like we are family. Judy Pritchard says I heard
Mm,
that.
mm,
It's also
thank you.
it's also really good to be able to there's stuff on weighing on people's minds. We all watch news and we all deal with life and deal with stuff outside of the house and deal with stuff inside of the house all the time. So it's you got all these thoughts swirling around. Sometimes if you don't get them out or talk to somebody about them or gain some perspective by having some discussion about them, they can get overwhelming. So I look at what's happening here is like that too. Like we're actually addressing some things that are actually happening around the world when we talk. You know what I'm saying? That gives us
Hmm.
some anxiety, and hopefully it's something that helps the anxiety of everything that happens all the time. So it does for me anyway.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So yeah. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We thank y'all. It's not just something we say every episode. It's really how we feel. And we really value, this community that we built.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, we right there. Judy Prince is saying we care for each other, and that's really the main thing that we try to push around. The main kind of energy and vibe is love, man. We got to look out for each other, man. The world needs a lot more love. We all got to care for each other because really, at the end of the day, we are all we got,
That's right. And if you don't do that, then you'll be on the outs.
man. For
That's how it
sure.
happens. It's all
Eventually,
about love, man. For real. Like
yeah,
like
man.
Prince used to say, find yourself outside the club. Should have had a little more love.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah, man.
just want to say Kimara's up early with us, giving us already in the chat, but she will be joining us actually on the show a little bit later on here. So stay
Nice.
tuned get to catch up with Kimara finally.
Yeah, man.
It's been a little minute.
Kimmer around town. Been busy. Again, reminding folks, we've been talking to Brother Willie Barney last couple weeks. He just had again his financial event. So yeah, a couple of people attended. Definitely looking forward to updates on that and whatever else Sister Kimmer has been up to. So yeah, we see you. We see you. Definitely good morning. Also, our brother J.R. Ignacio Sanchez, the mayor, as we like to call him, in the chat saying, "First Sky is school for my soul." Okay.
Man, love it. Amy H. Dawson, sending love to you, buddy. Everybody got love for
Hey,
you today.
right back at you. Right back at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome. How you doing, Paul? What's going on in your world, man?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right. A little tired, but getting always that's always kind of the case. I'm running pretty hard, so
Yeah, man.
not too bad. Feeling pretty funky today, actually. As a matter of fact, I found a picture that kind of shows exactly how
Okay.
I'm feeling today.
What you got?
Took it back to the '70s.
Oh,
Took
okay.
it
Okay.
back to the '70s.
Real funky.
Feeling cool, feeling smooth, like this family right here. Look at that green car in the back too. I didn't notice that
Man.
until right now. I saw
Yeah.
this and if it felt good, I was like, man, this is what I'm talking about. That's how I'm feeling today. So that's what's up.
You just too busy looking at the suits.
Too busy looking at them clean suits, man.
Man.
Nobody dressing, you know what I'm saying? This what,
Yeah.
when you think about the '70s and you think about the crazy styles that came in the '70s. I think it's like people they were trying to recreate this, but putting some weird spins on it or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is when you talk about style from the '70s. That's it for me right there. So just a little representation. That's how I'm feeling today. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty
Man,
confident.
and it's kind of interesting. It doesn't really feel like well, I guess young folk, but it seems like you can kind of dress however you want to nowadays. Like I see a lot of people, kind of going back to the '70s style,
Mm,
dressing the classic, high what men in high waisted pants and
hmm
tank tops, kind of bell bottom kind of style, and I see different styles. Like I don't really know if there is a style of the 2023. It seems like you kind of wear what you want nowadays.
I mean, it feels like that every era to me.
Hmm.
But then you look back and you're like, oh, I can see some consistency there on the style tip. So I don't know. Well, but I mean, think about the 2000s and stuff like that with big jeans and weird,
Yeah.
all the weird glasses and stuff. It
Yeah.
seemed like they was all over the place back then too. And then you go back and there's a distinct '90s and 2000 style. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you got to kind of look back at it. So I don't know. But
Might be coming back around.
like I said, I used to say all the time, like some of the best style was in the '70s, and people all immediately think of bell bottoms and weird stuff and all that. So when I found this photo, I was like, you know what, this is what I think of when I think of the style of the '70s, which is much more together, much more clean as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah.
it feels good. Feels good. To me, it feels like everything that came after this was trying to be this and just was weird. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't quite meet the mark, huh?
Yeah. But this is clean. This is clean. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Smooth. Smooth.
yeah, man. I try to be every day. I try to find a little bit of something, a picture or a video or something with a little bit of inspiration. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Set the tone. Set the tone.
Set the
Yeah.
tone. Speaking of setting the tone, we got more people coming in with the good mornings. Von Chapman says he's present.
Hey.
That's what's up. Mira Sanchez says Ice T inducted Cool Herc into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He got goldfish in his shoes.
Ah.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what I'm
Classic.
saying. That's when they got to playing with the style after a
Yeah,
while.
man.
But yeah, man, that was a good thing too. There's a lot of people got inducted for Missy Elliott was inducted too.
Yeah. Big
Uh,
boy. Saw my guy, Big Boy.
yeah, man, that's what's up. So I love that. I saw the clip where Ice T inducted Cool Herc into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So that's legendary, man. 50 years of
Man.
hip hop, 50 years of hip hop still. You know what I'm saying? Gwen Easter gives us a good morning. Kimara Snipes says I saw bell bottoms in two different stores when I went to the mall this weekend.
I'm
Wow,
telling you, it's coming back around. It's coming
man.
back around.
I don't know about them bell bottoms. I wasn't never the bell bottoms cat. I don't know.
Okay.
Marlon Harrison, good morning, says 80s and 2000s was the wild, wild west of fashion. Yeah, man. I don't know. 80s was crazy, but 70s seemed to be crazier. It's really interesting, man. I used to really be into fashion, and then all of a sudden I was just like, let me just put on this t-shirt and Dickies pants and just keep on
Man.
rolling and quit thinking about it so much. Or something. I don't know what happened, but I'm blaming it on Omaha because every time I go back to California, my cousins is like, man, what are you wearing? What is
Ah.
going on with you?
Ragging on your style.
Stephen Abraham in the chat. Good morning. Says we made it through another rotation. Good morning, grand rising, everyone. Appreciate that
Peace.
very much.
Peace.
Yep.
Welcome.
Got a message from Pops last night, man. He was staying up. He was pretty busy and got to bed late, so he will not join us this morning. But he wanted to
Okay.
tell everybody, send his love to everybody, and he's doing fine and everything's cool. So that's what's up.
Man, still receiving love from Vegas. So yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate
Always,
that.
always. Kimmer says we had jeans on backwards in the '90s. Wow, for sure.
Man, miggity, Mac Daddy. Yeah.
Crisscross style.
Yeah,
For real.
everything was backwards.
That was the time at which I was like, oh, okay, trends. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
These cats started some wild. It was going as wild as you can go. Besides putting the clothes on upside down, they put them on backwards, and I was just like, "And people really gonna do that because they did it?" Okay, trend.
Yep.
Now I
Put it on
understand.
backwards. Pants 80 sizes too big.
Yep. Gwen Easter said bell bottoms can come back and leave. Those are one pair of pants I will not buy. I'm not a bell bottoms cat. Not a bell bottoms cat.
Okay.
But to each his own, man.
Yeah. Express yourself. Express yourself,
That's
as
what it is.
NWA once said.
It's all an expression, and we love to get the expressions from people, whether it's from the lips or from the clothes they wearing. So that's what's up. Kimmer says I wasn't built for backwards pants. Yeah, a
I
whole
don't
lot
know.
of us,
Maybe
but
that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing.
What else is a good thing is that we're gonna fire up this show today. It's going down. We
Hey,
appreciate everybody that's in already. Like I said, special guest Kimara Snipes will be on shortly. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning is
in the
coming at you
morning.
right now. It's going down.
Hey, start the
Yes.
show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee, the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Thanks for everybody who's joined us in 630 Club too over here on the radio channel. Really appreciate everybody getting up, checking out the mix, and joining us here this morning on this Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. It's a Wednesday. Let us know how your Wednesday is doing. How's your midweek happening? I saw Miss Erica Felt come in and said, "Good morning." Yeah. Oh, she's talking about 90s fashion. I wasn't a fan of 90s fashion, but I was flying the 80s. I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's up. There's some style. Everybody feel like they have some. People feel like they have style. Then it does something to your attitude. Does something to your psyche. It helps you express yourself. You go out, you feel stylish, and you feel strong.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You look good, you feel good, you do good.
that's right. I remember my young cousin one time said something about that. He was like, "Ain't nothing like a fresh tee and a fresh pair of socks and fresh pair of drawers. If you just do that, you'll walk out feeling pretty good."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man. That's what's
You
up.
know, groom yourself on top of that. Go to the salon, the shop, get you. Yeah, you feel good. You feel
Come out
good.
fresh, man. Judy Princess says, "I don't like tight jeans look." Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I need a skinny jeans dude myself. She says, I am so blessed to have you all in my life. Oh, I appreciate that.
Hey.
Appreciate that.
Oh.
Christy Nora in the house says, "Good morning. I'm glad you came through too. Good to see your name. Let us know what's going on coming up. I know you're probably pretty active in the campaigns that are about to happen. And what do you got in mind for your campaign work for next year's elections? Yeah,
Is the season.
Yep. Coming up. As a matter of fact, there was a thing going around. Mike for mayor was I just saw this in the paper. Mike for mayor was on yard signs kind of around town a little bit. So they started
Okay.
calling a couple of politicians whose name was Mike, and they were like, "You know nothing about it." It turned out to be a birthday party hoax type of situation. They put these things out around this area. They were having a birthday party for some dude named Mike, and they made it look like that. But it put it back on everybody's mind, like, you know what? Who is going to be mayor next?
That is a good question. Is Stalter gonna have to run again? Is their term up?
I'm not sure. I got to go check. I got to check and see what's going on. But whatever's happening next year is the year, right? It's yeah. So for the mayor too, I believe it. I believe she's got to run again.
Okay.
So we'll see.
At any rate, hopefully that birthday party had a nice turnout. That's a brilliant marketing ploy. That's it's a brilliant idea.
It got all in the paper and everything, so I guess so.
Man, where's Mike?
May Myrant in the chat says cross colors was, oh yeah, dude, cross colors was the bomb.
Yeah, I still got some cross colors.
I think it still exists. The company still exists, don't it?
Yeah, I got my cross color slide somewhere around here. Yeah, I mean a lot of those kind of companies making a comeback. Fubu trying to make a comeback.
Man,
Cross colors.
I like that about the 90s. That's the 90s is when we started getting black owned
Yeah.
clothing companies big time, man.
Right.
Russell Simmons started the trend too. He tried to go get a deal with Adidas because Run DMC put that My Adidas song out, and Adidas really wouldn't give him a deal. He said, "All right, I'll make my own shell toes." Remember when he started Fat Farm and put his own shell toes out?
Yeah, I remember. I actually had a pair.
Yeah. So, that was the kind of the start of all that stuff. And then we started having actual black owned clothing companies doing our own fashion for a minute. So it's still it's still happening. It's not as out as it was, but it's still low key going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm definitely paying attention kind of big in the fashion, especially streetwear. So definitely big shout out to Cool Kai.
Mm,
Cool Kai support black colleges. These are two, actually they're cousins, two young brothers who are definitely pushing. If you've seen like the sneakers with the lightning bolt on it,
yeah,
it kind of uses the Nike uh form, if you will. But he's going back and forth with Nike on some legal battles about
mm,
that shoe, and actually has come out victorious a couple times. Like, he's really making some waves. I mean, Nike, they're buying these shoes on $12. These are just basic shoes that they're throwing a swoop on. Like,
right.
it really is interesting when you kind of look at how they're challenging and changing the game in that way, and kind of disrupting, if you will.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
you have to
it's a lot to it.
shoot me some more information on that cat. I'd like to definitely check that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean, man, he's doing some things, man. Yeah, Cool Kai. Shout out to Cool Kai.
Yep. Gwen Easter said, "I don't like to see men wearing tight jeans." Christy Norris says, "Actually, just working all the time." Okay, yeah,
Okay,
we kind of in that same boat right now, man. I feel like I definitely have 2 full-time jobs and then some side hustle stuff. So
man, man.
what it feels like. So definitely working all the time. Definitely got to start thinking about next year though. Make some time to really rally for that because we got to make some changes here as far as people in seats.
Mm-hmm.
Big way. Miss Erica Fell says the baggy jeans and clunky shoes for women in the '90s was not me, but and they're trying to bring it back.
Yeah, yeah.
At least they trying to put some clothes on again because that started to be a
Mm,
trend where it was clothes was coming off all the time everywhere.
that part.
Kimara Snipes says, "What happened to all the mayoral candidates?" That is the question. Miss Erica Fell said, "Don't she have to live shade? Throw some shade. Doesn't she have to live here to
Shots,
run?" Shots
shots.
fired. She says, "I still have my son's real FUBU jersey and some Fat Albert shorts.
Okay, what was it? Fubu Platinum.
Classic now."
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you might can get some money from that if anybody has any of that gear. Just tucked away in the corner of a closet somewhere. It's a lot of millennials. People born after the 2000s just catching wind of some of this stuff. Like, hey, that's retro. I'll pay for it.
That's real. The resale market is real.
Yeah, man. Give me the loot.
Yeah. Marlon Harrison is reminding us that there is no term limits for mayor in Omaha. So
Man, so she can just keep running, running,
if
and
she get a
running,
if she
running.
get a fourth term, I'm gonna be I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll
I
see.
mean, she just unveiled the streetcar, so maybe that's maybe that's boosting her numbers. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. If there are any mayoral candidates that y'all know about, well, let's keep our eyes open because the last mayoral race, they were coming out of the woodwork.
They were, yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah. So this got to be around the time they got to start talking about it anyway. Start at least some rumblings. We need to hear some rumblings in the street of who's talking about running.
Yeah,
See
man.
what's happening. So anyway, yeah, that's definitely it's interesting that this is going to be her fourth term that she's going to be having to fight for as well. So we'll definitely see what's happening there. That's really interesting story as far as especially in our particular state because we've learned that the way the state is structured, the mayor has a whole lot more power than other mayors in other cities.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, yeah. I'll be very. Yeah, I'm interested in this mayor race. The more I think about it, because there's a lot of changes, a lot of work that the mayor's office is in the middle of trying to push this streetcar situation through.
Mhm,
Still dealing with guns, and it's a lot on the mayor's plate right now.
mhm.
Um, really seeing how this LB 1024, and we'll actually be talking about some updates with that here in a bit. Yeah, yeah, seeing what a change of power will look like in this point in Omaha will be interesting.
Does anybody care about the streetcar? We were looking through news last night and this morning for the today's show, and the streetcar is front and center because the mayor had a meeting where she showed the plans. I guess
Ooh,
I didn't put it in the headlines for us because I was just like, "Is that a thing? Are we worried about that at all?" Like, it doesn't seem like the Chad chime. It doesn't seem like the first Sky Omaha fam it thinks this is front page news. The situation with the streetcar.
man, let us know.
Yeah, let us
Let
know.
us know.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. You guys interested in hearing the news about the streetcar? What it looks like, where it's going, where they're talking about expanding? I guess there's part of the news. So
Yeah, I think the bigger conversation is just the why. Why are they putting in this streetcar? And of course, we've kind of deduced that it's about inviting more business, trying to build this whole corporate, alley, Tiff Alley as we're calling it, kind of up Farnham. And, going from the new Jean Leahy Mall, Stillhouse area, all the way up Farnham, past the Cottonwood Hotel, up
Mhm.
into Blackstone, like through Midtown, like that whole stretch. It looks like they're trying to build it up, trying to big it up.
Yeah. There's an article in there about a Blackstone business talking about how much business this would draw. He was for it. It reminds me of Senator Justin Wayne, who voted for it, but he with a caveat. It was, okay, I'll give you your vote, but you're gonna have to make it so it can go into North Omaha, because what's the
Mm-hmm.
point?
Mm-hmm.
She Miss Erica Felder saying, the mayor said that it's a few blocks shorter than initially planned, so they can expand into North in the future. So I guess they kind of took that idea and planning on saying they're planning on doing it in the future. We'll see.
That part. Yeah. So we'll
But
definitely
what
see
would
what they
that
do.
mean if it was in North Omaha? Would anybody hop on the streetcar from North Omaha to go up to Midtown, go up to Blackstone? Would that help anything? I kind of think about transportation from the north side more about commuting to work on the
Mm-hmm.
west side and stuff like that more than
Getting downtown to party.
yeah, getting downtown to party on the good weather days. So I don't know. We'll see. Marlon Harris in the chat says, "I remember in the 2000s we was mixing colors and cultures. I might post some of those pictures in Friends of First Sky. Please do. I'd love to see that. I'd
Okay.
love to see that."
Take a trip down memory lane.
Y'all talking about fashion still.
Yeah, seem like
Judy
that.
Printer says Bad Bunny wore some shout out pants on SNL. His style is it. You like Bad
Okay.
Bunny
Yeah.
style, huh?
Yeah. Bad Bunny is probably one of the biggest artists in the world right now.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
world, Greg.
The world, Craig. Yeah, he's pretty huge, and definitely because of the way that he decides to do his style.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it for sure. Yeah. Um, Mayor Sanchez talking about the streetcar again says the only interest I have is why it doesn't go north and south. Yeah,
It's a
that's
good question. It's a good question. Again, only going east and west, and now they shortened it. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll just gotta keep our eyes on it. But yeah, let us know if that's something you care about.
there you go. MEH start shouting at her dude, Barica, Bariqua. Go ahead with your Bad Bunny. Your Bad
Yeah,
Bunny. So Bad Bunny's dope. I'm,
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
actually I'm actually impressed by his artistry. The more I get to know it. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, really, international sound like American music is kind of down right now, man. And between Bad Bunny and Burner Boy, that's the sound right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, worldwide. Definitely different thing going on for sure. It's always been like that though, man. There's always been a different sound going on worldwide, and with American acts hitting here and there at times. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? We tend to think of America as the center of the musical universe sometimes, but that's not always the case.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wanda Lewis says City Councilwoman Juanita Johnson asked for them to consider North Omaha when they were debating about the streetcar.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good news. It's
yeah.
good news. Kind of wonder where City Councilwoman Juanita Johnson falls on some of these conversations and debates. Don't really hear too much from her or about her. So that's not to say she's not doing anything. Just don't know.
I think she's pretty strategic. We'll have to get her on and ask some questions for sure.
Would love to. Would love to. Love to.
Let's go ahead and jump into some a little bit of the news that we got today, so that we can jump on some stories before we have our special guest on again. If stay tuned, special guest Kimara Snipes is going to be on. We're going to be catching up with Kimara on some of some of the issues that's going on. She's working hard at One Omaha. It'll be an opportunity for us to learn even more about One Omaha, and then catch up with her on some of the stuff she's doing, because she's also a woman about town all the time
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So catch up on some of the meetings that she went to and so on and so forth. Appreciate that very much. And yeah, can't wait to speak to her. But in the meantime, between time, what's on the agenda today, buddy?
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and continue down this track talking about city council. Wanda Lewis actually giving us an update saying the city is also requesting 300,000 to do the study, talking about I guess the streetcars situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll definitely look at that. But it looks like they're approving money left and right. This being reported by Omaha World Herald. City Council also recently approved $550,000 in TIF for $2.7 million development of homes in North Omaha. So again, more affordable housing coming to the area.
Tiff,
Take from
Tiff,
that.
Tiff in North Omaha finally.
Finally, yes. The Omaha City Council approved $551,000 in tax increment financing, also known as TIF, just this Tuesday for development of 9 new homes in North Omaha that proponents praised for its innovation and potential. The 3 bedroom homes of Curtis Corner, planned for 49th and Curtis Avenues, are projected to cost about $275,000 to build. The City Council heard Tuesday, but they're projected to sell for about 225,000. The income qualified home buyers whose households include, or excuse me, their income includes 60 to 120% of the Omaha area median income. That's meant to address a shortage of quote unquote missing middle housing in Omaha in general, in North Omaha in particular. Kind of a answer to all of the apartment buildings that we've been seeing going up in the city. Again, not many single family house or dwellings really being developed, or no new developments of that such are really coming along. I think that new development in the black, not what was it, Wakanda. That's what I'm thinking of. The Wakanda area. The new development in the old I'm drawing a blank on the name of the Mayats. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the only development, a large scale development that I can think of that will have single family homes. Most of the other developments that we're talking about are all apartments. Even the North End teleservices, who's supposed to bring 80 to 100 apartments to Lake Street. Again, it's going to be the largest development or most expensive development in North Omaha, but again, it's just more apartments. So very very interesting to see that. That woman also in the chat kind of speaking about middle housing, said middle housing actually includes duplexes, stores attached to homes, walkable communities. Okay, a little more information on what the missing middle housing situation includes.
So, yeah, you were saying there's not many single family homes being built. There's still not many single family homes being built, even with this. What's
Yep.
nine homes gonna do for a housing
Yeah,
crisis?
yeah.
I mean,
It's not much. It's not much.
glad they're going in the direction of single family homes instead of, like you say, more apartments. But I mean, and hey, at least it's a start. But I don't know. uh, it just goes to show you how bad off we are, because this is news. This is in the
Hmm.
actual newspaper. They're building 9 homes.
Yeah. 9 homes. I think it's been reported that we're about 30,000 homes short of really meeting the demand for home ownership and new homeowners. I do find it interesting though. A couple of things from this article. Yes, it is not many homes, so I would love to see more. But what do you take on this whole building it for 275,000 and selling it for 225? So developers are taking a loss. I will say this is part in due to Spark Capital or Spark CDI, which we're learning more and more about thanks to Bree Fool, who works for Spark. And according to the article, this is a part of their campaign. It says relative affordability will be possible because of funding from Spark Capital, a loan fund operated and managed by Spark CDI, which is a local neighborhood revitalization nonprofit organization. Spark will cover the gap between the construction cost and sales price, estimated to be about 50,000 for each home, according to city documents. The $551,000 in TIF will help keep the overall cost down by helping to pay acquisition, site preparation, architectural, and engineering costs. The total project is expected to cost about 2.7 million. So again, that 551,000 in TIF is going to support this effort. But big shout out to Spark for stepping up as well.
Man, that is very interesting. Speaking of Spark, just to let people know, there is a listening session. Join us for community listening session, policy and advocacy. They had 3 dates on this, and we're coming up on the I guess it's the November date. November 29th will be the next one for environmental justice. Housing justice was November 8th. If anybody went to this November 8th meeting, let us know. Oh wait, no, that's today, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the 8th. 8th is today. Okay, cool. So
Yep.
if anybody's going to this today, let us know. November 8th from 6 to 8 is going to be over at Fabric Lab right there on 24th and Lake. So go check that out. Discuss community issues and potential policy solutions. Housing justice. So this is Spark, reaching out, getting some feedback from the public about what they think about these issues here, and you can go check it out and voice your opinions there. As you can see, I'm glad that was in the article, but now we see that there is some things that Spark is doing. I kind of like that idea actually. That we talked to people like Amy H. Dot, who says that the cost of building is so high right now, that it's really hard to make a profit. So if it makes sense to me to hear that of the building costs, $270,000, and the market rate is $230,000, then there's an organization like Spark that's filling the gap in order to try to keep the price low and lower anyway. Pretty interesting technique here to try to get some of this stuff done. So I guess it is news, and I even though they're starting with 9 homes, hopefully they can recreate this and continue on, building some more homes with this kind of formula. Pretty.
Well, it is an interesting formula, and I do. Although it is interesting, I kind of question how sustainable it is. I mean, it's 9 homes, but these are all 9 homes created at a loss. And we got nonprofit having to step and fill the gap. Is also
Right.
giving, kind of filling me in as to why this shortage and this crisis exists.
Hmm.
I'm obviously the cost is surpassing the market rate. So
Right.
how are developers, how are anybody going to make money in this? Um, so that's definitely a question that I'm seeing from this. But I will also like to point out, in addition, apparently the development will be done by a new firm called the Minch Group LLC, which is founded by a local entrepreneur who I'm not familiar with. But if anybody knows, brother Philip McLean, he's actually a graduate of the Spark Development Academy, which is a course designed to assist emerging real estate developers who identify as BIPOC. That's again Black, Indigenous, or people of color, quote unquote, women and gender expansive individuals. That's according to Spark's website. So, and this will be again, we've been talking about minority, if you will, developers, and here we have a new group, the Minch Group, to think about and to talk about. So definitely shout out to them. Again, that is a looks like a brother from the area, Brother Philip McLean. He
Mm.
says, as you know, affordable housing is a big issue in Omaha, McLean told the council on Tuesday. Also, infill development. So, with this being our first project, I wanted to do something that gave back to the community, but also to help out with some of the rising housing issues in Omaha. So big shout out to them. This seems like, again, when you hear it initially, 9 houses, not really scratching the surface of the 33,000 or so that's needed in the city of Omaha. But
Yeah.
kudos, step in the right direction.
There you go. Kimmer says we'll be talking about all of this at our next speaker series too. We'll be talking about that speaker series coming up when she comes onto the show. She says she really wants to attend. Back in the chat, real quick, Miss Erica Felt says middle housing actually includes duplexes. Oh, we already said that one.
Hmm.
Duplexes, stores, attached homes, walkable communities. I do like that scenario. Better than what we've been doing in the suburbs and stuff.
Yep.
Von Chapman in the chat says TIF for homes in North Omaha will only benefit the developers. TIF to develop infrastructure in North Omaha should be priority for future growth in North Omaha. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. It's kind of used. TIF is used that way everywhere else, really, for
Hmm.
future, especially economic growth. Not you don't hear a lot of TIF projects for housing always happening. So it's interesting that the house it's happening for 9 houses in North Omaha. Also, Miss Erica Phil says the Missing Middle Housing Organization that has a Facebook page for Omaha is very interesting. We'll check that out. Also, she says I feel like we need rentals. More and more people can't afford to but do in interest rates, regardless of house prices. There are several shortages of safe quality rentals in Omaha,
Mm.
especially these we talk about these apartment buildings going up and these rentals units going up, but they're all market rate. $1,100 for a 1 bedroom. $1,600 for a 2 bedroom. They're not very affordable, even though they're popping up everywhere.
Right.
Von Chavez says building more homes does not address poverty or nor affordability for the disenfranchised. Right.
Hmm.
Wanda Lewis says it's a tax write off for the developers. So
Mm.
yeah, that's an interesting scenario too. Brother Knight in the chat, good morning, says that TIF possibly covers the loss of contractors.
Yep. That's what it is. It's definitely to cover the loss, plus the funding from Spark. Again, they're projecting a $50,000 loss on each home.
Yeah, that's not sustainable, like you're saying.
No, it's
So,
not. It's not. It's not. So it's very interesting, and I do like the point of it being put towards seemingly kind of charity and not
mm,
really economic development.
yeah, exactly.
And I do wonder how this will impact property tax tax rates for surrounding homes.
And yeah, that too. And it's not even, and it's certainly not encouraging, like you said, economic development, housing, ownership. It's it's a stopgap. It's a stopgap solution for a problem that's just rolling, and there still needs to be a lot more there. But this is a step in the right direction. This is something that can be done.
Hmm.
And I see the positivity in that. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. I'm seeing the
Silver lining.
positivity in that. Yeah, I mean that's a positive aspect of it. That something's being done there, and it just kind of does spark my ideas on, like, how, what else can be done here in that vein, because that really is the problem. They looked at the situation as they were saying it's costing this much to build. We need, the market is asking for this much. We're trying to get down as affordable as we can. If we're a nonprofit organization that can give out money to try to help that gap, then how can we do that? How can that happen? It's a stopgap solution, so it doesn't feel sustainable, but it feels very positive to me.
Hmm.
Tonight Patterson says TIF needs real conditions attached. Yeah, they have some. I don't know if they. It doesn't seem like they follow them very strictly, uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there are some conditions attached. She says that the city shifted much of that burden when tearing down more project units than what they were putting up.
Hmm.
Shifted the burden, yeah. And we haven't heard a lot about the displaced people, being able to come back to those areas once things are built either, which was kind of the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this is interesting. We haven't talked too much about housing situation in a minute, so this is kind of an interesting piece here, and I'm anxious to see what's going on. What more Spark obviously has some answers, and some, has been talking about this, and also reaching out to speak to the people about it as well. We don't see
Hmm.
too many of these. I like to put these up when we have them. Anytime they're calling for the public to come and they want to listen, they want to hear what the community has to say, is significant. So
Yeah, man.
once again tonight, 6 to 8, housing justice is going down. A talk going down at Fabric Lab. If you don't know where Fabric Lab is, it's 2415 North 24th Street. Check it out. Community listening sessions, policy and advocacy. Inform what policy we should prioritize in 2024 and beyond. So, sounds like some good
Okay.
work Spark is doing. Maybe we can have Brianna Full on maybe Friday or something like that, if she's free, and talk a little bit more about this initiative with the housing, and also what else Spark is doing. I'd love to hear more
Yeah.
about it.
Love to hear more about it. Also, would like to wrap up this with looking like there's also some work opportunities for the youth in this
Mm,
opportunity. From the article, Brother McLean says that he is working with District 2 City Council woman Juanita Johnson on hiring some new kids in the community to learn about construction, because that is another part of affordable housing. So we're hitting it on both sides. So not only building, more units available for the community, but also now as a developer in the community that can develop, and looks like they're trying to train and hire as well. So looks like Brother McLean is trying to address a few issues. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
you jot that name down and see if you want to come on and talk about it a little bit
Yeah,
more too.
yeah. Philip
Get some
McLean
numbers
in the
on it.
Minch Group. Minch
That's what's
Group
up.
LLC.
Amy,
EMENSCH.
right on. Amy H. Dot in the chat is talking about the last One Omaha talk thing that they did over at Benson Theater. At the last From the Ground Up series from One Omaha, they talked about encouraging more homes with detached mother-in-law suites. That's pretty interesting. California passed a law where you can build something, a tiny home in your backyard, for
Mm-hmm.
that very reason. So that's pretty interesting. Miss Eric Phelps says there's a current big shortage of carpenters and other builder trades. Very true,
Mm.
especially in our community. Amy H. Dot says different types of dwellings being allowed by city code would be really beneficial. I'm waiting for that. I need that business down below apartment, suite flat up top type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed use is what I've been waiting on for a long time. That's what I was used to. I was kind of in California on some of those tips. So I'm definitely waiting for something like that. I've been asking the planning department about that all the time, and it's just not a thing out here in Omaha. But yes, different types of dwellings being allowed by city code would be very beneficial as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's. I was trying to think of the name. Units, those detached units are against zoning, and most of Omaha very old homes with them have been grandfathered in. And this kind of makes me think of like I grew up with my great grandmother having like a full salon in the back of her
Mm-hmm.
house.
Right.
Those types of deals. You go, what used to be like a back kitchen, and now she completely converted it. So yeah, definitely those types of things, especially with people working more and more remotely. It makes sense. It makes sense. I actually remember that being a big topic of conversation at one of the I want to say it was either the planning department or a land bank meeting that I
Mm-hmm.
went to. That was a big topic of conversation and people kind of pushing for those and looking at the zoning of some of those lots.
Absolutely. Let's continue this conversation on. We're coming up on 6:46. You believe in the concept of time. We'll take a quick break and come back with our special guest that's
Hey,
coming up. Miss Kimara Snipes is in the house. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. First Sky Omaha in the morning. First,
in the morning,
we'll stepped on you in the morning
man.
again. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
Hey.
Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right and wrong. Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right and wrong. Living in the HIC. Brothers all surrounding me. Ain't no futures here. Just lives full of pain and fear. Time for a different stroke. I'm tired always being broke. Me and just about all my folks. Tired of being without hope. So it's time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Wait a minute. I got to hold on.
Worry about the right and
Yeah,
wrong.
go ahead and let that
It's
cook.
time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn.
I got to play that with my favorite photo up right now because that's
Man,
how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling funky today. It's going down. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Miss Kimara Snipes in the house. Good
Hey,
morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Feeling pretty.
good,
I'm
good.
feeling pretty good today, buddy. Buddy was feeling kind of low, so we trying to
I kind
yeah.
of
Yeah,
missed what was happening. I think I came in at the end, but whatever it is, I'm lifting you up.
man, I appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Just your presence is lifting me up. I'm definitely glad to see you. Definitely glad to see you. Looking forward to hearing what you've been up to with the one Omaha. So yeah. Welcome back officially as a guest. Of course, frequent chat chimer. But for those who don't know, first of all, what's wrong with you? Sister Kimara Snipe and director one Omaha and whatever other hat she got hanging up in her closet.
Mm,
Yeah,
a
very
whole hat
busy.
rack. Whole hat
Yeah, oh
rack
yeah,
going on.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
I
oh
got
yeah,
rid of
very
some
busy.
hats.
You did, huh?
I've
Okay.
gotten rid of like 3 of them in the last month, actually.
Really? What
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
what'd you give
Yeah.
up?
So I am, and this is also opportunity, by the way, because I definitely have told both of these boards together. Together Inc. I was on their board of directors and Voices for Children, which
Mm,
actually yeah, Dr. Webb had actually called me and asked me to come and serve on that board. And I loved her, and she knew about my love for children, and so that's the reason why I decided to. But these last few months, I have definitely been thinking much more about me, and I
yeah.
had to get off of some stuff. And so yeah, I resigned from the Together board and Voices for Children, and then last Thursday, Sona elected a new president. We had a succession plan in place,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm very, very proud of. I had been Sona's president for 4 years. I've been with the organization since I think 2008. And so, yeah, we have a new officers, and I'm very happy about that. I'm still on the leadership team, and I'll be helping with. We created a strategic plan for the first time in the 50 plus years of their existence under my leadership. So I'm definitely going to stick around to make sure that that is carried out, but really using One Omaha and the resources there to really just take what I've learned through Sona and like take it to a higher level.
Man, that's what it's about. It's all about progression, all about elevation. Definitely excited for you. And also, it's big to get some things off your plate. It's easy to wear yourself thin. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you can do when you got a little more focus. You can, have a little more, a little more time, a little more energy. So
You my hero
before we,
right now with that,
oh
man.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
I gotta
oh
let
yeah,
some things go off my plate for real, for real. I'm gonna be a whole different
man.
person when I do.
I mean, when you stuck in the juggling act, you can be productive, you can do a lot of work, but you kind of be surprised when you can focus how much further you can go. So I'm definitely excited to see what you do with One Omaha. I know you have a lot of plans, a lot of excitement. But before we get into that, I do want to recap and get your take on the financial event that you went to. Again, we've been talking to Brother Willie Barney for the last couple weeks, and they just had you were a speaker at that event.
I did get the opportunity to speak. Yeah, that was actually, I really appreciated that opportunity too, because there were a lot of really, I think, for some pretty dope people that were there that I've
Okay.
been able to do the network. So yeah, um, I can just jump right in. I mean, I found out about this just probably about 3, 4 weeks ago. And so they had some really dope speakers, like I said. There's a woman, Classy Alcine, she's from Kansas City.
Mm,
Anna Barber, she's from Barber and Associates, who I really have been connecting with. She is the woman who did the fundraising for the Smithsonian African American Museum in Washington, D.C.
Mm.
that's huge.
Vanessa Hall Harper, she's from the Tulsa City Council. Suzanne
Mm,
Hart, she's from Canada. She's a mindset mastery mentor. Dr. Pamela Jolly, she does the Wealth Initiative. Dr. Randall Pinkett, Dr. Adrian Wilson, all these different people here. And
Doctor,
so, really,
doctor.
I'm sorry. And so for me, when I did talk about One Omaha, the whole event was around just building together and how
mhm,
these different sorts of organizations or areas of work fit into the transformation plan that Willie's often talking about. And so for me, I definitely talked about One Omaha. I talked about our mission. And for me, it's really right defining what neighborhoods are to people. And I've been really thinking about this in my mind. And I often talk about asset-based community development, and neighborhoods are really just asset-based communities. And we
mhm,
really function to like cultivate our assets and propel them out into the larger community. But as far as highlights from that, one thing I really appreciated was the economic impact tracker that was included in the mobile app for the conference, where they were
mm.
tracking things like businesses people supported that day, your relationship with that business, like are you a returning customer, a first-time customer, the type of business like retail, food, beverage, whatever. So they were tracking that.
Is
Um,
that an was that an app? How are they tracking that?
yeah, they had a mobile app for the conference, and so that
Wow,
was one of the features within it to be able to track
that's
that. I
dope.
sent my oh sorry,
No,
I
you good.
sent myself some notes, but overall there were over 340 people in attendance.
Nice.
The focus was on leadership, wealth building, entrepreneurship, fund development, home ownership, supporting Black business. Every time Willie has one of these conferences, there's vendors, Black vendors around the whole space for you to go and support, and really just about collaboration and working together in a couple of phases. And that first one is reducing gun violence, reducing unemployment, increasing graduation rates, reducing poverty. The second phase is that transformation piece, like talking about the housing units, getting those increased by, I think it was 1,500. It's increasing the number of businesses by 300.
Mm,
Um, and so, and these and those pieces have been part of the transformation plan this whole time. I fell into the transformation plan because, y'all was just talking about the whole mayor thing. The only reason why I ran was because I had created those COVID task forces, and I really felt like I was like doing the job of one. And so
mhm,
when we continued having these meetings, Willie had, started talking about this transformation plan, and that's where the conversation about like really how neighborhoods like fit in. There were a lot of things talked about. We talked about Adrian Wilson from the My Brother's Keeper, was here and talking about how Omaha is one of these top 4 model communities that the foundation has selected. The other cities
Hmm.
are Newark, Yonkers, and Tulsa. And they
Hmm.
said that, out of those 4 model communities, Omaha is the top model community. And so the My Brother's Keeper Foundation will be here for like 5 years working with Omaha on like 6 milestones. And those milestones are children ready to read, learn, and these are boys, right? Young Black men, ready to learn by kindergarten, reading on level by 3rd grade, high school graduation rates, but not just that, including like prep and then like post high school, secondary school recruitment and graduation, gaining full employment with a living wage, and then reduced exposure to violent crime. So those are the 6 points that the foundation looks at, and that's kind of how Omaha was selected. Work in progress, of course.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
they also launched cohorts. And so Anna
Mm-hmm.
Barber, who I mentioned earlier, I had the privilege of meeting her last year. Willie had me do a citywide tour. They do tours for people coming into town of Omaha. She was on my bus. And so she's going to be leading a fund development cohort. Willie's trying to put that together for different Black-led nonprofits here for the leadership to come together to really work on fund development. I mean, Anna, I think she raised 400 million for that space. Um,
Hmm.
Dr. Pamela Jolly, she does a cohort on legacy wealth. Dr. Randall Pinkett and Dr. Jeffrey Robinson, and you maybe remember Randall Pinkett. He was on what's Trump's reality show he had,
Oh,
The
The
Apprentice.
Apprentice.
Yeah, he
Hmm.
was on there. He was the one who said no, he would not share his space with another person. That was him, and they do the Redefine the Game cohort. And then Suzanne Hart is starting one. It's a collaborative leadership and storytelling cohort. They had some panels. They had one with Marissa Hatab, Raquel Henderson, Senator McKinney, and Asia Anderson on building on the foundation and like preparing for the future. They had one panel on building business and building community with Gladys Harrison, LaWade Milliner, Don McPherson from Styles of Evolution, and Jason Fisher from Surreal Media Lab. It
That's
was a
some
lot.
partners right
It
there.
was
That's
all
crazy.
Yeah, it was all day, but it was good. And like I said, I really appreciated the opportunity to talk about neighborhoods and really bring up the asset-based community development sort of
Mm-hmm.
philosophy that not a lot of people are familiar with. And so be able to explain it like that and talk about it from like a business lens, right? Because neighborhoods do contribute to business. We create the consumers, we create
Mm-hmm.
the people who create the businesses, right? And we have these exchanges as well. And so it was a good opportunity. I appreciated it. And I'm just trying to see where I fit in and how I can be support and be supported.
Yeah, yeah. I
Love it.
mean, before the internet came in, communities like businesses, the only point was to support the communities that they were in, the neighborhoods that they were in. So,
Yeah.
very very interesting. Um, Man, it sounds like a lot of good work was being done at this summit. It sounds like it was productive. Is that a word you use to describe it? Was it
I
productive?
Very productive. And I forgot my favorite panel was the one with Willie Barney, Leo Lewis, Senator Justin Wayne, and Willie Hamilton. And
Hmm.
that one was about, how do we come together and mend and heal and move
Right.
forward together as well. And that was very powerful too. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I
Beautiful.
missed that. We can't wait till we can get to the point where we can start participating and even being a part of these meetings out here. So we're really glad that you went over there and represented. You represent. And I feel like you represented for several organizations. So One Omaha, First Sky, us, yourself, the Black community, everybody. So appreciate
You
your
know,
presence over there.
like real and this, and I'll be want to tell people in the show this too, like in the chat, like for real. I started back in 2015 going to Omaha 360 when I was working for Bannister's Leadership Academy, you
Mm.
know? And then I just started kind of showing up at their Saturday meetings in these different spaces. And it's always been, anybody is welcome. So I really encourage people when they have those Saturday meetings, go, if you can. I know it's hard to go to a 2 o'clock meeting in the middle of the day, but they have other stuff too. And like, you know, it says empowerment network. So for me, it's a network, and it's helped me to really build my network too. And I'm big on and networking, but it's also helping me build up my national network. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like me and
Mm-hmm.
Anna Barbara, when she see me now, she's like, "Hey, Kimara," I'm like, "This woman raised $400 million, and I can just pick up the phone and call her." You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's
Ask,
doing as
ask her, can I
well.
hold 20? No, I'm just playing.
Can I shoot? But you see what I'm
Man.
saying? So, but also, you also through the storytelling piece of it, learning about them, you see that some of these people got it out the mud too,
Mm-hmm.
and just made it for themselves. So I think that it's nice to I love my people in Omaha, and we have talent here, and I'm also willing to accept talent that is from elsewhere. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We all just trying to get ahead.
I heard
Right.
that.
And we got to build bridges. We got to build bridges. It's not just Omaha existing in a vacuum. You know, we have to build those bridges. So I appreciate that.
Also, I wanted to
Go ahead.
jump into take it to the chat chimers. If you have any
Yeah,
questions
yeah.
for her, let us know. Go ahead and put those in the chat. Any questions about the meeting that she might be able to answer while she's here, then do that too. I know that we're gonna move on to. I want to keep. I want to every time you come on, I want to learn a little bit more about one Omaha for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm kind of thinking back, like we talked a little bit about you already doing better because you've let some things go just to get your focus back and to take some of the stuff off your plate. That helping just mental health wise is it does it feel like self care for you right now?
I still need to do more, and like I still need to do better, but it's still better. But when it comes to just like where I need to be, I'm probably not there, right?
Mm.
I was just talking to Ajamal yesterday because we had elections. I'm like, I don't, y'all made me vice chair, but now I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that right now, you
Mm.
know? And so, but I'm just like even proud of myself for even like having those thoughts and even having those conversations. Cause I'm quick to be like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll help you.
Yeah, yeah.
But I even was proud of myself. I had to email somebody the other day, and I was like, you know, I like you and everything, but what you asking me to do, somebody else will pay me to do. And I was proud of myself for saying that.
Wow,
You know
nice,
what I'm saying?
The power
So
of
yeah,
no.
yeah.
nice.
I definitely have been coming into though like my like I'm not bragging. Like I get it. People think I'm a cool person. I think I'm cool too, right? But I've been coming more into like my I don't know if power is the word, but really understanding my gifts and my
Mm-hmm.
talent and my skills and how they fit in with the work that I'm doing. So I'm
Yeah.
also super grateful that I get to work in a space where I can use my God given talents and skills and abilities as well. So
There you
And
go.
and that space right now is at One Omaha, right? You seem to. I've seen you in several different positions in several different organizations. This one seems to be something that you gravitating that you have a stronger pull with and can and maybe a bigger purpose with. You want to jump
Mm-hmm.
into that a little bit? Tell us a little bit about your. Tell us first of all. Want to hear a little bit more about what One Omaha is and does, and why you're gravitating to it so strongly.
right. So, you know, most people who know me know that I got involved with neighborhood associations back in like 2006. This lady named Grandma Harris, her daughter, she lived in South Omaha, but her daughter lived like 4 houses down from me. She was one of my
Mm.
neighbors. And I would see these kids over her. I love kids. I taught Sunday school and vacation Bible school when I was a kid myself. And so
Okay.
I've always loved kids, teenager, I should say. And anyway, she had these kids over there. She had a drill team in South Omaha. And so I went over there. Next thing you know, like we both like doing the drill team together. And so her mom invited me to this neighborhood association meeting. And I tell that story for a reason because I talked a little bit earlier about how when I had the opportunity to get on that stage, I really wanted to define neighborhoods in a very intentional way. And I told the audience, you know, that our neighborhoods are asset based communities, right? And we function to cultivate those assets and then send them out. But it's even more than just cultivation. When I talk about assets, like communities have 5 of them. Based community development. I don't know if people have heard of this term. It's something that you can actually Google and look up, but it's when community drive the development process themselves. And they do
Mm-hmm.
that by identifying, right, and mobilizing existing, but like often unrecognized, right, assets.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they respond to and like create like local economic opportunities. So there's five assets. There's people. The people are the residents of the community. We hold the gifts, we hold the assets. But these assets have to be recognized, right? Grandma Harris did that with me. She recognized something, right? And then she invited me in. So she recognized, she identified. And then, community development requires like the assets and gifts of the people who are in the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
There's associations. These are like small, like informal groups of people who come together around an issue, but not because they're paid to do it, because they want to do it. And so that could be like PTOs, church groups, your neighborhood associations. And these are the types of groups that are critical to like mobilization. Think about the last year with like ARPA, LB 531, how many times the community was trying to get mobilized and how difficult that was.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you have these associations in place that are structured, okay? So then you have institutions. These are organized, like paid groups of people. So we're talking about businesses. The school districts are institutions, local governments an institution. And the assets of these institutions, they help the community like capture valuable resources. We're talking about our schools, businesses, all that. And they also help the residents establish like civic responsibility. You have physical assets, land, buildings, space, money is a physical asset, and the people, they use the money to barter, right? It's all
Mm-hmm.
relationship driven. And when I talk about relationships, I mean the connections, the exchange between people, who share in their assets. They do it by bartering. But not just that, you can't just go in. I always go back to, you have to take time to get to know people, and you have to build relationships with people. And to me, like, that's where One Omaha does come in, especially with that model from the ground up of residents, neighborhoods, alliances, One Omaha, and these other assets at the top, like our institutions, the other associations, and all of that. Now, when I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to them, I found it really beneficial to talk about how neighborhoods play a role in business, because, I often say, I think people think, when we think about neighborhoods, it's like community gardens, and I love community gardens, but that's not all neighborhoods do. We play a role in like the social and economic capital and also development. I said it earlier, we're the consumers, we're the purchasers, we're the creators. We also play a role with accountability, transparency, and stewardship.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in the need for accountability. We believe in the need for transparency. We believe in the need for stewardship. And we work together to really nurture and sustain our resources and our well being. And then, there's a shared sense of ownership and participation. Residents, neighbors, people, they forge an inclusive, democratic, shared sense of ownership. And that creates participation in society and also in economy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've talked a lot about what change looks like, and that's that increase in knowledge, that's that strengthening the relationships, that's the building the individual organizational capacity, and creating that meaningful sense of community ownership. And when you're doing all those things, you're able to participate in social and economic development, and accountability, transparency, and stewardship, and participate in the economy. And that's the reason why, people should be involved, like with their neighborhood groups, because if we're not organizing at that resident level and creating change in that way, I mean, it's hard to get to the other places of change that we all want and working really
Mm-hmm.
hard to do, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like this is a perfect fit for you with the way that what you describe, and us knowing what we know of you. So I can see why you're all for it.
I do a lot of research. This is research. This isn't me just
Mm-hmm.
talking. This is like research. Like, if people come to me, like, I can back up what I'm talking about with some research. Like, this is factually like driven. I'm not just saying it. It's like real. And so, yeah.
Couple
Yeah.
couple questions in the chat real quick. Amy H. Dot is saying, what are a few neighborhoods in Omaha where you have this idyllic scenario where these ideas are proven? Got anything for that?
Proof of concept.
Yeah. I often think about Sona and how we've been able to exchange. A lot of this is about the information exchange. Now, keep in mind, COVID came in and did a number on neighborhoods. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean a number. Before COVID, I would use in 2017 when they had the NUSA conference here. You should have seen how many neighborhoods were represented. We're working hard together. Every year we do spring cleanup. We're doing fall cleanup. There's a lot that's happening in neighborhoods that people don't know about, but it's still, for me, very small,
Hmm.
right? And still could be much more intentional. It might be easier if we were doing things like they did in Kansas City. I mentioned earlier the lady Classy from Kansas City, and she was talking about so they basically done like a 360 version down in Kansas City, and this resonates with me
Hmm.
because the violence in Kansas City has affected me personally. My
Hmm.
son's father was murdered in Kansas City, right?
Wow.
Mm.
I used to live down there, and this just actually happened while the mayoral race was happening. But Kansas City is off the chain, and so they have started a version of 360 down there,
Hmm.
and they have 60 organizations coming together every week. The city council has given $30 million over a few years to violence prevention, right? So not going to the police department, but going towards prevention. um,
Wow.
Quarter million toward relocation fees, so like the type of work that Tamika is trying to do with North Omaha Community Partnership.
Mm-hmm.
She's relocating people. A quarter million towards relocation fees, a quarter million toward neighborhoods. um, they've been doing actions over the last year, almost 5,000 actions around built environment issues, canvassing. They 10,000 hours plus $13.5 million have been spent on organizational resources. And so the numbers that she shared with us was that they have a 62% increase in trust levels with their local police department and a 78% reduction in violent crime.
Mm.
They are doing a capital campaign to try to match the city funds, and their goal is to have $100 million towards violence prevention over a set amount of time.
Man, can you imagine?
So let me.
That's
So what do
because
you?
they saw the 360 model and worked together to put it together, but their city council went ahead and did some extra.
And so that was kind of my question, because going back to Amy H. Dot's question, she's asking about where have you seen that play out in Omaha, and
Right.
I'm kind of curious as to you know is it playing out in Omaha like that, and if not, why?
No, it's
And
not. And that's been the battle for me, because as long as I've been involved with neighborhood associations, this ain't shade, I've always felt like the South Omaha neighborhood association were a bit more structured, right? But
Mhm,
then when you think about it, when you look at like maps of redlining and things like that, all of that comes into play,
mhm,
right? And so it takes real investment in order to organize neighborhoods the way they need to be organized. Sona, Nona, us as alliances, we are volunteer led organizations. These
Hmm.
mhm,
neighborhood associations are volunteer led organizations. And that's the reason why it's amazing for organizations like the Omaha Community Foundation. The mayor has her neighborhood grants as well. That is an investment in neighborhoods. Those are really great because at least those are opportunities for organizations to get a little bit of funding to do some things. But the things that our neighborhoods really, really need, right? They require us coming together the way we do, but it needs more than that as well. You do need
mhm.
some investment. And that's
Yeah.
the reason for me at One Omaha, something I've been really working hard on as well the past few months is really building out like a fund development plan, and not just fund development, but also diversification, which is very important to me.
Mhm,
So for me, it's been also really when I talk about skills and talents and abilities, I've also been able to see what other organizations find value in One Omaha now that I'm here. And that's not me being like boastful, it's just true. I got into the position. I've had several organizations whose names I won't say right now because I'm working on some things, who have reached out to me because they know the ability to be able to reach into marginalized communities. Because these other institutions, like I was talking about as an asset, not through their fault, they don't really know how to get into our communities. That's
Right.
why Sona was so valuable during COVID. We were a platform. We had viewership, sometimes of 5,000 people, right? because we were able to utilize our platform to bring information from the Douglas County Health Department, Dr. Adipur, from Dr. Logan, and others out into the community. We had conversations with the school district a few times, quite frank conversations on reaching into some of these communities. It got down to, hey, sometimes you got to pick that phone up and just make a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite frank like that, and they were open and received it. But that was very important. So
That's interesting. You talk about that. That's a very, very a thing that it happens a lot with these organizations. I'm thinking about MCC where I used to work,
Yep.
and how much trouble they have getting into our community, and how they need to utilize some of these entities in order to get in. Neighborhood associations being very, very, very the first one should be the first one,
Mm-hmm.
really.
right.
Also, this is making me think about the situation that we had been talking about before about the Empowerment Network. It's been in national news that we're a model for the less gun violence and so on and so forth, and the other cities were going to model what they were going to do off of our city. You just gave us the first iteration of that of Kansas City modeling something like the 360 meetings. And then they took it many steps further and many more dollars further. It sounds like to me. So this is this
Because of the city investment piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was
right,
the city council who did that.
right.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's even beyond what we like. Buddy's point. It's even beyond what we're doing here right at this moment. So that's interesting to hear that came out. They've copied the model, but they've went above and beyond that model. Very interesting stuff. Also in the chat, real quick, Von Chapman is asking, "Good morning, Kimra. Have you developed a template that you can provide to neighborhoods so that they can develop and grow their neighborhood associations?"
I'm working on that, Vaughn. I'm a template crazy person, and so actually I'm definitely working on that. It's taking some time, and I'm having conversations with people too. But yeah, I'm definitely, yes, I'll just say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think
It's
you
in
talking about
progress. It's in progress. I'm trying
good.
to be very intentional. I'm so strategic to probably to a fault, but yes.
Good, good. I mean, you just talking about how you could be an asset, to those neighborhood associations and to neighborhoods as one Omaha. And I definitely think that's a way to do that with your, organizational and structural knowledge. Kind of, disperse that and share that
I have
information.
coming up today, I think, with Leo Lewis. We're going to talk about neighborhoods, right? Because
Good.
I want to hear from people too, because the neighborhoods in Omaha look different. Like the neighborhoods over here, my neighborhood don't look like Miller Park neighborhood. Miller
Mm-hmm.
Park neighborhood doesn't look like a neighborhood in West Omaha. So my
Mm-hmm.
first thing I really want to do is build out the capacity at the alliance level. Omaha has these 6 neighborhood alliances. There's Nona, Sona, Benson Ames, Southwest Neighborhood Alliance, Northwest Neighborhood Alliance, and Midtown Neighborhood Alliance.
Wow.
So I want to get those functioning correctly. And by functioning correctly, I really use Sona as a model. I mean, the space where first you have a space you can meet at, right? You have a
Mm-hmm.
meeting structure set up, but also you have your elected officials coming and participating. You have the local community organizations coming in. You have the institutions and other assets coming to participate.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you have that, it'll be easier to build up the neighborhood associations. But even that, I want to start with maybe one in each alliance area to really focus on building up, see who else can pull into that. But you have to take your time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Communities are traumatized, and they were traumatized before COVID,
Yeah.
right? And so they're traumatized. You can't just go up in these neighborhoods any old kind of way. You have to play chess and not checkers. And so I just want to be intentional about it so we can have the best return. And I'm
Yep.
also even researching, like, what am I going to be measuring and tracking next year, right?
Yeah.
Because I
Metrics.
want to be able to have information to present to the community. So that way these chat chimers ain't like, well, what you doing? I
Mm-hmm.
want to see the numbers. That. But you're right, though, right? So I want to have that information available and ready because I do want to be impactful. I don't want to just be up here running my mouth.
Yeah.
Um, Neighborhoods
And,
are very important. There's a lot of work to be done there.
and those metrics definitely like one, we acknowledge even talk about Brother Leo Lewis. This is a conversation we had with him in the past as far as how do you quantify that work? How do you get those numbers? What do you measure to really figure that out? But I will say that I'm glad to hear that you are planning on doing that, because it's important not just to prove what it is that you're doing, but also to improve what it is that you're doing. You can kind of see what is working and double down on that, and what's not working and kind of fix that. So, definitely looking forward to seeing that. But I did want to kind of pivot. Now, I know you had mentioned your speaker series coming up. That's also something that One Omaha is doing. Well, not really coming up, but ongoing. And you and I had a conversation when I was in Omaha about issues and how do you kind of drive this ecosystem. You kind of laid out what the ecosystem looks like and what the assets are, but using the issues to kind of direct those resources and direct those assets. I'm kind of curious as far as I know housing is one of the topics for your speaker series, but what are some of the issues that you're looking at and trying to address within this ecosystem that you're talking about as far as neighborhoods?
I mean, for us, it's really about bringing the people with the knowledge into a space where people can be able to ask questions and hear from them.
Okay.
So for us, so what we've done is we talked about the history, right? We talked about redlining. We talked about, we had Steve Jensen from the planning department. I saw a comment in there earlier about the planning department and some of their covenants and things that they're doing. We had
Mm-hmm.
Steve Jensen there. Some of this stuff came up. And we also had Dr. Terry Crawford and Preston Love. And so that was the historical piece of it. The last one we had currently kind of like what's happening, right? And this next one is about, what are our options like in the future? What are some things we can look at? And so, and keep in mind, thank God I have a team. Alex and Noel have been really pulling this together, but we're going to have Clarice Dombeck from Spark CDI. We're
Okay.
going to have Greg Paskatch, who is the housing manager with the city planning department. And we're going to have this guy's whose name I can't remember right now. He's from NeighborWorks in Lincoln. NeighborWorks is the organization that actually took me to a conference in 2016 where I learned about asset-based community development.
Wow.
And I fell in love with it because living in a racially and ethnically concentrated area of poverty, it was about going into the community and looking at it through a lens of glass half full as opposed to glass half empty. And so
Mm.
that's why it speaks to me and I research it so much. I please look up asset-based community development. But so we are going to have them there. And I don't have the questions yet that Alex is putting together, but I'm happy to share them with you two once I get them, so you can kind of see some of the conversation that's going to happen. But I know we're going to talk about what some of the options are for housing, like in the future. Somebody was talking about it earlier, like ADUs, which are the accessory dwelling units, the mother-in-law houses. I got one right next door to me, and I didn't know what it was. I had never seen one before, but
Mm.
I'm going to be discussing that. We're not the knowledge experts, but we are bringing them in so that you have that space. I will say these speaker series have been going very well. At the end of the night, I have to tell people that I have to shut it down. We can't have any more questions because we have to get kicked out of Benson Theater, Paul. But yeah,
Hey, act like I kicked you out.
but yeah, for me, my experience with housing has been I'm no longer an elected official because I had to move out my neighborhood because I couldn't find some
Mm.
place to
Yeah.
live. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I mean, literally my house was falling apart, right? And I
Mm.
kept putting up with it because I didn't want to leave the school board. So that's the experience that I bring. We bring it in the knowledge experts though. And so I
Yeah.
really encourage you to come and think about your questions because when I say experts, these panel discussions have gotten so good that we're talking about doing like a part two or maybe even more than one speaker series next year because people are just really, really loving them and the information is so necessary.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let's jump into that speaker series real quick, just to get people to come through. I'm gonna share the screen here and just show the actual Facebook event. This is the one coming up right from the ground up housing
Yep.
development. Yep. Again at Benson Theater, you can go to Benson. This is a free event, right? The people can
It
show
is
up.
a free event. We encourage you to please register because we also supply food. Benson Theater usually has a happy hour going on that day as well. So we even tell people go by happy hour, then come by. Just don't get full and start yelling at us or nothing.
uh, from what I understand, this has been some good turnout for this,
Yeah,
but definitely come up. And then the speaker, there's a you have a special guest speaker this time around too, right? Is that how does the speaker series work? Who do you have
we,
speaking on the
we
stage?
have Clarice Dombeck from
Yep.
Okay.
Spark CI. We have Greg Paskatch from the City Planning Department. He is the city housing manager. And we also have, hold on one second, I'll tell you just a second. Don't do me like that. Oh, we have Charlie Wesh from NeighborWorks Lincoln.
Okay.
Yeah,
So this is the 14th. This is coming up here in pretty much next week.
Yeah.
next
Uh,
week,
Tuesday.
def- yeah,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, November 14th, 6 to 8. Fun time, like she says, there is a happy hour at Vincent Theater. Starts up about 2 o'clock, I believe, and so you can kind of come a little early, have a drink, mix and mingle, and then come in for the event here and hear the speakers, and should be great. Like I said, I keep getting great feedback from each event, and more people saying, "Man, I'm sorry I missed it. I'm gonna have to go to the next one." So we'll definitely come up. I want to jump in the chat real quick. Whitney Richardson is in the chat. Good morning to you.
Wait,
She says,
Hey,
feel like I just took an organization 101 class. This is great stuff, Kimara. I love
there
that.
you go.
Rome's review says get them to stop playing chess and start playing dominoes. You all right? You all right? I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on back up here because
Have that ready, huh?
no.
on the Bones table, the reigning first Sky Omaha Bones champion right here, Kimara Snipes. Uh,
Oh, that's
Buddy and Mayor
hilarious.
Sanchez with the heads low. Yeah. Forget chess. If you can get him to play dominoes, you winning. You're gonna be
Yeah,
winning.
in there, in there.
You in
That's
there. You
hilarious.
in there.
I will
uh,
say,
mhm.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you were talking about measuring like impact, and I went to go
Mhm.
find. I told you I've been researching this, and so some of the things I'm looking like at are like KPIs for like the engagement process of, and this is around like public engagement, right? Because that's what
Mhm.
I think is really really missing
Mhm.
in Omaha, Nebraska. Really is really good direct public engagement entrenched in neighborhoods.
Mm.
So like KPIs for like the engagement process, for residents and for stakeholders, for data quality, for like impact on like the end result. So like number of engagement steps in a process, the level of participation, people involved in like the design process for the engagement process, channels used for outreach, response rate, gender balance, variety in age groups, variety in education and working status, balance sentiment of feedback, amount of feedback, spatial dispersion of resulting like geographic information system
Mm.
based data, frequency of the data usage, number of opportunities for continuous involvement, number of projects that include citizen engagement and the profile of those projects. You know, just different things. I've been really researching and just I want to be able to measure, right?
Hmm.
And so even if people have thoughts and ideas, I am completely open to them because I don't know everything, and I'm willing to learn. So, yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
For those of you listening, tuning in right now, it's 8:27 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we'll spend about
Yeah.
2 more minutes with Kimra, and really appreciate you coming on to the show and appreciate everybody's questions. Real quick, Marlon Harrison wants to know what's your thoughts on the streetcar coming to Omaha.
But
Yeah.
um, I don't think about the streetcar.
Okay.
Um, you know, I don't think about the streetcar at all, to be honest with you. I guess my thoughts or questions, and that is like impact on South and North Omaha.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, uh, that's what I just
Doesn't
wonder
doesn't
about.
seem to be doesn't seem to be much right now. So
I
that's
think that it just like a lot of projects, you know, the information isn't always reaching the residents, and that's what I want to be able to help with.
yeah.
Is the okay dispersion of information, which we is yeah. I mean, we're in the business of that, and Paul
Right.
says it all the time. We can have 100 of us, and it still wouldn't be enough. Now, there's still a lot more information that needs to go out to a lot more people. Um,
That's real. Any last questions, buddy, before we let Kimra get out of here today?
um,
What's on your mind? I
Not
mean,
really. I mean, it seems like we kind of answered it. Just wanted to really get an update as far as One Omaha, what's going on with the speaker series. Any other things that you're excited about as far as One Omaha? Or anything you need? Any thing you
Yeah.
need? Any help you need as far as projects you have?
What can we do? How can we participate?
Help I need, boy. Some people don't ask me. Um,
Well, you got
I don't
opportunity.
even know.
Okay.
That's
Uh,
what happens to me all the time too. Somebody's like, what can I do to help you?
Shouts out to Whitney and Amy. They've been teaching me how to date and flirt again. So
She need a man.
Okay.
That's what she needs. That's what you need.
Okay.
Let me
Hit us with that LL. I need
let me
love.
think of some
I
good
had
brothers out here
somebody
for you.
tell me that I had no clue what I was doing. So I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
See, that's a sign you've been working
I'm
too much.
confused.
You've been working too much.
Hey, Kimber, my boys tell me that too. I ain't got no game, so we in the same boat. I don't know
Lost the
what's going on
Riz.
here.
Do I have to have it though? I'm like, dang.
That's the question. That's my point. That's my point. Why are we playing the game? That's my point. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. We're gonna go ahead and get on
Yes,
up out of here.
Eric.
Say again.
No,
Miss Erica said I need to sit in on these lessons.
I'm off the
Uh,
loop.
One last question. Von Chapman is asking: are there action plans that involve implementation as a result of these meetings? Is there action plans? And
The meetings. Are you talking about the
are you
Empowerment
talking about
Network?
yeah,
And what
Or
Empowerment
meetings
Network
are
meeting is are you referring to that one?
if you're talking about the Empowerment Network, I would say yes. And I would say probably if you can get in on some of those Saturday meetings. And you're gonna get fed. I mean, you're gonna get fed good too. It's Big Mamas.
oh,
So
okay.
Say what?
they started, yeah, the Saturday meetings started 8:45, and you come in, you get breakfast, and there's different topics each time. But I would also just reach out to Willie Barney and tell him you want to hear about next steps for the transformation plan.
Well,
Um,
we do have planned him coming back, and he's going to give us some data and some planned information when he comes back on the show
Mhm.
too. So, yeah, just putting it out there.
yeah,
Yep.
there you
But
go.
8:31 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're gonna go ahead and let you go about your day. You got a busy day coming up. What's today? Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Yep, absolutely. I'm gonna go
Okay.
work on some accounting and budget stuff, and then I got a meeting with Leo.
All right. Well,
Okay.
best wishes to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah. Hopefully we can hang on to you for the last 30 minutes or so of the show.
Absolutely. See y'all later.
All right. Thanks
Peace.
a lot. All right, there you go, Miss Kimara Snipes. We're going to take a quick break and come back and jump into the rest of the show. Maybe a little lightning round and a few
Yeah.
haps coming up as well. So get your haps together and stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Oh.
I'll be the dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chammers, ghost listeners. Thanks for all of your comments and questions. Kimmer says I should have been cooking me some breakfast while I was on. Nah, I'm glad that you didn't. I'm glad that you didn't. We already see what happens when you come on to the show and you got a whole bunch of other stuff going on in the background. Doesn't really work too much. Miss Erica failed. I'm just playing. I'm messing with.
Shots.
She always says that too. She's like, next time you have me on, I learned my lesson.
And you know those babies don't care.
Man, you should have learned that from Buddy when little mama keep on coming.
Oh man, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just go on, let them in on the show. Sometimes,
Yeah, I learned to lock my door.
Just playing. Appreciate you, Miss Erica Felt. Appreciate everybody that has come on, and appreciate all the information, man. Kimara is always a wealth of information, and it's really really great to hear and get reminded. And whenever I'm talking to her, I'm feeling like this is the direction right here. This is it. This is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about Boost to the Roots, like we are in season 6, people that are actually out here doing some things, and meetings that turn into action plans, and action plans that turn into action, and stuff going on. It is there. It's all there. So we want to keep on putting that challenge out. If you have not joined your neighborhood association, please consider doing so. And if you don't have one in your area, go ahead and start one so that we can really, really, really get granular with information spreading, gathering. The best thing to do is look around and be able to talk to your neighbors first. And it's like talk to your family first, then your neighbors. Then your what's next after your neighbors? Your like-minded people. I'm can't think of the term right now that I'm looking for. Your community is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. And it goes from your direct neighbors to expanded neighbors.
Yeah, expanded neighbors. Your community, and then have other communities join in with other communities, and before you know it, we have a metro that's vibing together. So that's always the goal. Yeah,
that part. And one big thing that I don't want to ignore that she said is the need for direct engagement. I mean, we talk about voting. Of course, the season is coming up. That's a big part why people just don't engage. Like, a lot of the communication that's put out, a lot of the information that's put out is kind of like, it's not direct. It's like the difference between somebody walking into a crowded place and just saying something, not to anybody in particular, just saying something. Maybe somebody will catch it, maybe somebody will pay attention. But if I just walk into a big room and just say, "Hey," like, who you talking to? What you talking about? But if I look you in the eyes and I tell you what I got to say, it's gonna hit home. So, that you need that more direct organizing, more direct engagement. Talk to people.
Earlier in the chat tonight, Patterson had a good point. She said mass housing is needed. This is back on the housing talk we were having. Singular family housing is from an outdated excess resource American dream concept that literally very few could afford then or now. The government helped out tremendously to spark white home ownership and few black homesteaders. The day focus, probably saying today's focus is shifted from the few to the masses. There will be great change. That's very, very interesting idea too. When I think about how the suburbs were built, it's kind of built for white flight. There was government programs that allowed these people, especially like the guys that went to war, come back and buy these houses out on these tract homes, and that's kind of what the suburban model was. And of course, they kept black folks out of that, which was how the inner city was built. And, all these things, so it's really interesting to kind of rethink about, like, what do we actually need as far as housing is concerned now? Maybe that is an outdated model. Maybe having that single family home out in the suburbs is an outdated model. I don't know if having $1,000 1-bedroom apartment somewhere is the model, but maybe there's some kind of in between. I tend to think more of the way that like Midtown was kind of built, where there's apartments and then work is walkable, grocery store, places around are walkable, and little small communities, little small villages around that have some housing. What is the modern situation here? We can think of it two different ways: where you live and which in your economic situation. So people use housing as an investment situation as well. You buy a house, you can rent it out, and that's the way you think of it monetarily. But actually, how you living is kind of the question. It might be an outdated model, like she's explaining. So I just got my wheels turning on that a little bit. What say you on that, buddy? I can see your wheels turning too on this one.
Well, you got my mind going in a different direction as far as the future of, always looking at Atlanta versus Omaha and the relationship between Atlanta and Omaha. We talk about, I mean, really all show we've been talking about city planning and development, and Atlanta and Omaha has a very interesting relationship from the city planning perspective, because the same way that a lot of cities look at Omaha for the 360 model, as we discussed, Omaha is looking at cities like Atlanta for their development model, as far as again purpose built communities. We've seen that with the Highlander situation. That comes directly out of Atlanta. I mean, I've
True
talked about
that.
it here on the show before. There's, if you've been to Atlanta, you might be familiar with the Belt Line. It's an old railway that completely encompasses and circles the city. And there's been a bunch of development around that. Omaha just got his bike lane being developed, which again goes along the railway. So that is similar. And as you're talking about, the housing, right now I live in Decatur, and it's very interesting. Actually, I live in a cul-de-sac in Decatur in the development, and I've talked to people who lived here for years and kind of got the history of this, and it's very similar to where we are in Omaha right now. I believe back in the late '90s, early 2000s. Actually, in the early '90s through the 2000s in Atlanta, there was a ordinance, or there was a decision from the city to tear down almost all of the city's housing projects, and that caused many low income families, mostly quote unquote color, to move out to the outskirts of the city, from to move from the inner hubs and the inner areas like the housing projects to the suburban outskirts, like you know College Park and Decatur, and all
College
of
Park,
these
right?
areas.
Say it right. College Park. You gotta say it right.
College Park, Decatur, where it's greater. All of these areas, that's how they're developed, and now there's all of these suburban developments full of formerly low income families, and it's very interesting. And I'm saying all that to say, it seems like we're seeing a similar point in Omaha. You got all of these housing projects being torn down, families that used to dwell in those areas being pushed to the outskirts, to the Bellevues, and to the,
Mhm.
Papios, and to the 120ths, and they're being pushed out. And what's happening is, now when you look at Atlanta, in the intersection is like a development, madhouse.
Hmm.
Could we be seeing that in Omaha?
Man,
Especially, the writing is kind of on the wall when you look at what's going on with Tiff Alley, from the river all the way out to 72nd.
true that. Something to think about for real. Jumping into the chat real quick, another good point here. Gwen Easter saying there's a big problem with families who are receiving housing vouchers for Section 8 are losing their vouchers because many landlords are not renting their properties to families. I think there needs to be a landlord meeting with HUD and other leaders to offer some kind of incentive to encourage them to rent to families. It's a huge problem. My organization receives a referral from 211 to get to get help through our home intervention referral services. It's a challenge to find Section 8 voucher housing. Families are desperate because they are given a short time to use the vouchers. So that's another issue, along the same lines of what you're talking about here. What happens with the section, the people who need Section 8 to find some housing, which is more and more. Section 8 is harder to get, and you're. I heard that the list is very long to even be able to get some housing, and now renters are not, or owners are not really renting to families, according to Miss Easter. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all kind of along the lines we're talking about. Also, moving along, Miss Erica Fell says black soldiers were denied the GI Bill. The GI Bill is what I was talking about earlier. This whole
Mm-hmm.
suburban model. And they were denied GI Bill home buying funds. Suburbs and single family housing is designed for segregated neighborhoods. They
Yep.
it was definitely for white flight. Get out of the city, get out to the suburbs. But they had GI Bills and help to do that. The whole mortgage industry changed when that happened. They actually built the mortgage industry on this idea of the suburbs, and the 30-year loan and so on and so forth. You didn't have that before that time frame. They were houses where you had to buy a house outright pretty much, and they
Mm-hmm.
started this whole financial institution to do 30-year loans because they couldn't afford those suburban homes in the first place. T. Ren says row houses are a middle ground of sorts. Down there by Gallup, you have 10 or so units, 10 families in the same space 2 houses would take up. Interesting. 10 families in
Row
the same
houses.
space 2 houses would take up. Yeah, row houses. Kind of an old concept, row houses, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Stuart Knight is talking about what you're talking about. They call it gentrification. This is
Yep.
what you're seeing that in in Atlanta, and could that be happening here? Was your question?
I mean, it kind of already is. Going back to what we've been talking about with the Section 8 situation. Again, we've said it on the show many times. Um, it's very interesting where the Section, not just what types of housing and who and what, but where the Section 8 housing is being offered. Again, I'm hearing more and more that is not in North or South Omaha anymore.
No.
It's not really in the Omaha city limits anymore. It seems like a lot of it is moving out west. But why? What is the real plan of that? And even you mentioned earlier, where are the people who are being displaced? Where are they going?
Man, that is a really good question. If we know anybody, if you have any associations with anyone who's been moved out of these areas that 75 North and some of these areas that got redone, where did they go?
Yeah, yeah, and you can really see the development because again, learning about that history, not just the development, but the investment is a word I really want to use. You look at the history. There are certain areas, when that mass exodus happened here in Atlanta and all of the um, housing projects were torn down. Certain areas like Decatur were accepting those Section 8 housing vouchers. Certain areas like in Gwinnett, where I used to live, they weren't, and you can see the level of investment. The schools are a lot nicer. The parks are a lot nicer. Just the public, the streets are a lot cleaner, nicer. Just the intersection medians are cut and more well kept. You can just see the investment from the city versus where certain individuals went and certain individuals were not allowed to go because it is also allowed where they were allowed to go where the Section 8 vouchers were accepted.
Well, accepted, exactly. More on that Section 8 issue of that. Miss Erica Fell says, yes, it was hard just 10 years ago to find Section 8 unless you moved into unsafe housing.
There you go.
Brother Nice says that's why rental rates increase because usually only well-income people can afford to move back closer to the downtown areas.
Mm-hmm.
Kimara Snipes says, when I was on Section 8, I ended up in Papillion on 72nd and Highway 370. Wow.
Telling you.
Sarah says Hilltop residents were pushed into Cherry Hills townhomes and other places on 108.
Yep.
They go, Brother Nice says they go to former white suburbs. So
outside of city limit.
Outside of city limits.
Yep, where your vote does not impact the mayoral race.
Ooh.
Hello.
Kimber Snipes says the owner of Southside Barber is a multiple property owner, and he only went to Section 8 voucher recipient. We need more people like that.
Mm.
And he will only rent to Section 8 voucher recipients. We need more people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. She says, and he makes sure he makes sure that the properties are well taken care of. That's the real key right there to a owner. Von Chapman says the housing development plan concept of Atlanta, Georgia, and Omaha, Nebraska was developed and implemented by Tim Cousins from Atlanta and Warren Buffett from Omaha. Started with 75 North in Omaha. Interesting.
Yep. It's called Purpose Built Communities. It's an organization. So it's a thing. Purpose Built Communities. If you want to learn more about that whole wave, check that out. Because yes, 75 North, the accelerator development, and a few other developments that are coming down the pipe are all a part of that.
Yep.
Yeah, Gwen needs to give us more information too.
Yeah, more information on what Von Chapman was talking about. Tim, is it Tom?
Is it Tim or Tom?
That's what I'm asking. Mr. Cousins of Atlanta, who purchased the project in Atlanta to build housing and started a school there. That is where Susie and her daddy got the idea for Highlander and the mixed development. Their vision also includes Howard Kennedy School and the early childhood daycare connected to the schools. Interesting.
Yep.
Tim, Mr. Cousins is what
Mr. Cousins.
Mr. Cousins.
No relation.
Not a cousin. 8:48 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we appreciate everybody's comments on this. It's been a very good reintroduction to talking to a housing conversation that we had
Hmm.
ongoing here for a while. So really appreciate that very much, and appreciate all of your comments on that. Let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of a lightning round before we get to some haps. I want to spend a little bit of time on some haps this time around if we can. So really appreciate that. While you get the lightning round stuff together, I'll jump back in the chat real quick. Brother Knight says once whites began to complain about commuting to downtown, that's when gentrification starts for real. Brittany
Mm.
Richardson says, I wonder how many people were displaced by the Highlander development. Good question. And where did they
Good question.
go? Is my next question.
Well,
Kimber
apparently to
Snipes,
Cherry Hills.
yeah, Miss Kimber Snipes says Indian Hill Elementary is the school South Omaha. Indian
Okay.
Hill Elementary is the school South Omaha. Okay, yeah, appreciate that. Again, appreciate your comments. Let's jump into a lightning round real quick. What you got?
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of development and gentrification, but this is very interesting as far as the timing of all this. Now that we're having this conversation, but talking about the DED and again the hundreds of millions of dollars that's coming into North Omaha and South Omaha. The DED, according to this Nebraska Examiner article, will be having a open house event in North and South Omaha, hosted again by the DED coming up. This is a part of course, the economic recovery funds and the agency responsible for the selection and oversight of millions of dollars in grants will host a pair of open houses next week in South and North Omaha. Organizers say the events provide an opportunity for residents of the urban areas to meet staff members who work in the North and South Omaha field offices and to learn about the department's many programs. Because again, as we just learned last episode on Monday, talking about LB 450 and the iHub designations, there's a lot more funds and a lot more going on than just LB 531 and the hundreds of millions that's coming into North and South Omaha. There's billions of dollars coming into the state. So again, let's keep that in mind. Shout out to Trevin Brooks, who we actually have been talking to and trying to get on the show. He's quoted in this article saying DED places a premium on developing their relationships, which we see as key to unlocking the immense potential for growth in North and South Omaha, kind of giving a nod to the relational building and organizing that Kimara has been preaching. The South Omaha field office opened last year. Among the duties of both offices is playing a central role in the DED's management of the recovery grant program, also approved by the legislature as a part of the Economic Recovery Act. The grants, many of which are yet to be allocated. So definitely keep your eyes on that. Were designated to spur economic development and jobs, as we've been talking about. So again, it goes down next week. November 13th will be at Metro Community College South Campus. That's 2909 Edward Babe Gomez Avenue. Again, the Automotive Training Center, room 203. That's from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. So that's very interesting. Looks like these meetings happening early, at least the South Omaha meeting happening very early in the morning. Again, that's November 13th, Metro Community College South Omaha Campus Automotive Training Center, room 203, from 8:30 to 10:30. And then also November 14th at the Metro North Campus. That's the Fort Omaha campus, building 22, Swanson Conference Center, 201A. That's 5730th or 5730 30th Street, if you're not familiar. And that's from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Fort campus, Fort Omaha campus on the 14th.
Right on, right on.
So that's yeah, next Tuesday and or next Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
And there you go. So a little update there on what's going on with that DED, the 531 money, and all that good stuff. So appreciate that. Appreciate
Yep.
that information, and we'll definitely try to make that. Like I said, we're still trying to reach out to Brother Trey and see if we can get him on the show and talk a
Yeah.
little bit more about those things
Yep. But
coming up.
moving along, in other news, this is very interesting. We've been talking about the refugees and immigrants making their way into the United States. Again, it's been reported about 10,000 a day in New York. And now a local organization is looking to double down and get in on those efforts. The International Council for Refugees and Immigrants, which is an Omaha-based nonprofit founded in 2019, is seeking to serve and improve the lives of refugees and immigrants. Again, the organization states that their mission is to become a national model in advocacy and service for providing resources to refugees and immigrants. The executive director, DeKal Sagar, said that initially he wanted to address youth mentorship after seeing disproportionate encounters between minority kids and law enforcement. And now they provide wraparound services, including case management, youth services, and mental health and peer support for refugees and immigrants. Sager says a majority of the people we are dealing with come from a war-torn area, and they are dealing with PTSD, mental health issues, in addition to adjusting to a new life in America. He says the ICRI has a vibrant immigrant program that is currently focusing on the influx of Afghans and Ukrainians that are coming to the States. He also goes on to say we also have a micro enterprise program that we loan people with no credit history up to $15,000 to initiate a business and build a credit. So big shout out to that organization. Might need to talk to them about some of the work that they're doing. Again, it's called the International Council for Refugees and Immigrants, and it is a Omaha based nonprofit.
Word up, word up.
There you go. There you go. And other news, kind of to juxtapose that, this is coming from the State and Nebraska Examiner, reporting that Nebraska is mulling over a program that would bring $18 million in benefits for new child nutrition. This is the summer EBT program that was initially launched on a national basis. It will be coming on a nationwide on a permanent basis, and again could deliver an estimated $18 million in grocery buying benefits to Nebraska families just next summer. And while that's encouraging to hear, especially for struggling families and child welfare advocates, unfortunately, the state is kind of dragging their feet on this decision. Officials must first decide whether to opt into the new summer EBT program for children, as the state will be responsible for administrative costs for this program. So yeah, it's very interesting to see if they want to pay for the administrative, just the administrative fees to do this. Again, $18 million in possible grocery buying benefits for Nebraska families. State elected official Eric Serviano, who's a food and nutrition access manager, or excuse me, not official, but food and nutrition access manager at Nebraska Appleseed. Eric Serviano says if they do nothing, there is going to be more child hunger, more stress on the emergency food distribution network in our state, which already is stressed, still reeling from the pandemic. So we'll definitely keep our eyes on this as hopefully they make the decision to enroll in this and give families the need that they or the help that they need. Again, this program was modeled after pilot projects in a nationwide pandemic era initiative that's now ended. But again, this will be coming out on a permanent basis next summer. So we'll keep our eyes on this, as this will definitely be big for families, especially struggling through the summer.
Yep. And Sacred says summer EBT is very much needed. Families panic and food pantry usage increases in the summer. So,
yeah,
we'll be definitely keep our eyes on that. And there's your lightning round, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hurry up and get to the half so we can get out of here today. Thank you very much. Appreciate that very much. It is time for the haps.
What's the haps? What's happening? What's going down?
That's right. Time for the haps. Time for us to talk a little bit about some of the things that is going on that we think you need to be checking out, and also for time for you to tell us about some things as well. Whitney Richardson is already in the chat saying there's a housing justice community listening session tonight at Fabric Lab from 6 to 8. Yeah, we've been talking about it all show, so we'll go ahead and put that flyer up again. But thanks for the reminder on that. Definitely go check it out at the Fabric Lab. Housing justice is going to be the topic tonight from 6 to 8. If you can make it, it's a good thing to definitely make. We've been talking about Spark pretty much all show as well. And of course, we have Miss Brianna Full on, who works for Spark, that gives us some updates on some of the stuff they're doing. Anytime that an organization wants to hear from the public, we need to really push that and get there and let our voices be heard on that. So check it out at the Fabric Lab tonight, 2415 North 24th Street. Right there, kind of 24th and Lake kind of corner right there. You know where the Fabric Lab is by now. So definitely go check it out. Housing Justice tonight, 6 to 8. Let your voice be heard. Community listening session, policy and advocacy at Fabric Lab. So thanks a lot for that reminder. Definitely check that out for sure. And all that good stuff. There's some more things going on. As a matter of fact, this is kind of the week Benson Theater, which most people sometimes need to be reminded. Kimber says this this is a different one. She says there's a successful buyers clinic by the land bank tonight at Grown Folks from 5 to 7. Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. At Grown Folks, that's the club on 30th, isn't it?
24th. So on the
Is it on
big.
24th? Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, go check that out 2 5 to 7. That's gonna be really interesting. I wanna hear more about what the land bank got going on. Appreciate that one for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of by
Uh
the Native Omaha Club and by Bud's
oh, yeah,
apparel
that's
shop,
right.
his
Okay.
merchandise shop.
There you go.
Yeah.
Buzz Merchandise Shop. There you go.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, check it out at Grown Folks 5 to 7. Lots of activity going on here. That's what's
Okay.
up. Appreciate
Okay.
that very much. Yep. 24th Street. Getting back to the house here, there's a lot going on at Benson Theater. This is kind of a, for those who don't know, Benson Theater is a nonprofit organization. So basically, it's a nonprofit stage, which is the reason why we have so much programming from people just around the neighborhoods around our metro area. We give access to the state of the art light, sound, stage, and facility of the Benson Theater to so many different people. It's crazy. As a matter of fact, there's a series going on on the Facebook page where this is there's people here who are doing some things that have done some things. Matter of fact, that film Divisible, if you guys have heard about that, had a very huge. It was sold out when they came to
Hmm.
show it there. It's about redlining in Omaha in particular. The people who put that on, Lizzie Barrett, Divisible premiered in July, said Benson Theater is not just local hub for creative communion and expression, but it's a vital part of North Omaha and Greater Omaha community. It's imperative that they are able to continue to expand their programming and organizational capacity as they see fit. So appreciate
Yeah.
them putting that testimony out there. This is what it's all about. We raise funds in order to be able to make it accessible to everybody to be doing this very important work, like showing films about redlining in Omaha, and having the families that are affected actually were there in the chairs watching the film that they were in.
Mm.
And it was a very powerful experience. We keep talking about this over at Benson Theater a lot. Very powerful experience. There's going to be food and drinks. This is November 11th. The Bonalto Ball benefit. So definitely check that out. Go to bensontheater.org and check that out because yes, the Bonalto Ball is happening. That's our inaugural benefit for the Benson Theater. This is our first ball here, and it's celebrating the 100th anniversary of the building. So the building was built in 1923.
Man.
And here we are, the 100th anniversary. It's a revitalized building, and it's our first inaugural benefit. So come to the benefit. This is what I'm getting is a whole bunch of people dressed up, super swank coming up and coming through here is what I'm understanding is happening. I talked to Andrew Joy Pearson yesterday, who's like ready to get this rolling. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so appreciate that very much, and definitely check that out. That's happening Saturday, Benson Theater's first inaugural ball and fundraiser. So come through. We're doing a ticket. It's $100 ticket. It's $100 for 100 years. Basically,
Okay.
that's your contribution to fundraising for the theater, so we can keep the arts going in that whole scene. There, it's not just arts, but education as well. Financial
Man.
literacy classes coming up.
Mm.
Then from the Mammal School of Business, getting ready
Follow
to
the
happen.
money. Follow the
Yeah, it's
money.
going down over there for real, for real. So appreciate that very much. Another thing that's going to be happening at Benson Theater, the meeting is happening in
Mm.
January 14th through the 16th is going to run. They're holding auditions coming up now on the 19th for this. I believe D. Kevin Williams is involved here. So if yes, directed by D. Kevin Williams. So if you guys know about this play here called The Meeting, fictional adaptation. It's a fictional story about the meeting that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King might have had, and what they might
Mm.
have been talking about, and based on some historical facts as well about how they connected. And
Mhm.
most people look at them people as opposites. Man, Martin Luther King was for peace, Malcolm X was for war. That's how a lot of people think of that. They are actually we're on the same page with a whole lot of things, and
Okay.
the meeting is one of those plays that kind of lets you in on that situation.
Yeah.
So,
Miss Erica felt in the chat, kind of giving us a review of it, saying the meeting is so good. Okay.
oh, so I saw it already. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we
There you go.
having it at the theater. This kind of stuff, man. It's very important to have at the Benson Theater. This is stuff that's going on here. So, watch out for this. If you are interested in auditioning for this, then hit us up. Again, you can go to the auditions are happening on November 19th, 6 o'clock. So we'll give you some more information on that, where to go. Of course, you can go to bensontheater.org, get some more information there. But we'll have a link for you to be able to try to sign up if you want to audition for this as well, coming soon. So,
Nope.
yeah, go
There
ahead.
you go. There you go. In the chat, Vaughn Chapman saying if housing remains unaffordable, there will be no justice in housing. The new redlining is the purpose-built, unaffordable housing by the philanthropic community, kind of talking about some of the developments coming to the Omaha area. And I just want to acknowledge that to also remind people that again, One Omaha will be having a housing speaker series that's coming up next Tuesday at the Benson Theater also. So we've been talking about that throughout the show. Again, shout out to Sister Kimara for coming through, One Omaha for putting that on from the bottom up speaker series. Again, talking about housing, housing justice, missing middle housing, all of that. So yeah, definitely join that conversation that's going on again next Tuesday. Go ahead and it is free, but go ahead and register.
Yeah, and come a little earlier too, because there's a little happy hour going on at Benson Theater. We'll have a little drink thing going.
Yeah.
Listen to the speaker series, and like I said, man, a lot of people been hitting me up. I missed the last one, so a lot of people hit me up talking about how good this was. So just really appreciate them putting this on, and the situation over at the theater where we can have these kinds of discussions, these kinds of
Mm-hmm.
talks. Very invaluable. So appreciate that very much. While we're at it, I was also talking about the redlining, the Divisible movie. While we're on that kind of that topic, they're doing a call for local artists. Let me see if I can pull that up too. Interesting call for local artists submissions, and here's the page for that. I'll try to bring some information in on it on Friends of First Sky Omaha. They're saying Divisible's call for local artists to submit designs to be featured on Divisible merchandise ends this Friday. So if you have seen this film or you're a part of what was going on here and you're an artist and you want to help them create some merchandise for this, you want to submit your art. It ends this Friday. This is the actual page that you can go to. So we'll put that on Friends of First Sky Omaha. You can hit that page, submit some art if it's due Friday. So they're continuing on with this. You know, Divisible is a powerful film, and it's getting some nationwide attraction here. So this might be a good opportunity for you to see, some of your work maybe to be a part of this as well. So, so we'll put more information on in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Really appreciate that. It is 9:06 right now if you believe in the concept of time. So we apologize for going past our agreed time, but we're glad that you guys are very much here with us still. Killers of the Flower Moon is out. Rome's reviews talking about that movie. It's a very powerful movie that you need to check out as well. Look that up. Killers of the Flower Moon. Haven't seen it yet, but I've been hearing so many things about it and the importance of it. So definitely check that out. So with that, if there's anything anybody else sees that we need to be talking about today, I guess there's some events happening today that really need the attention at this point. So definitely check that. Oh, one more. Benson Theater is also bringing the Asbury Short Film Concert. This is on Friday, November 10th. This is from like Universal Pictures is like associated with this. This is a world-class short film, and they call it a concert because it's not a festival. It's just a one-day event. 7:00 showtimes. They're going to be showing killer short films from around the world. Award-winning short films from around the world. This is the thing that's been going on for 42 years. This is the 42nd, and we're having it at the Benson Theater. Definitely come check that out if you're a film buff at all, or just want to see some entertaining film shorts, or just have a night to go out to see some different kinds of movies instead of like one just going to a regular movie theater seeing one thing. This is something that you definitely need to check out here. And the fact that we have it here at the Benson Theater is huge that the 42nd Asbury Short Film Concert is happening here. So this is Friday, November 10th. Just want to put that out. There's so much going on at the Benson Theater, like especially with the ball that's happening on the 11th. Sometimes we feel like if some of these events get buried because we literally have events 4 or 5 times a week sometimes. So I just wanted to push out the ones that were very important ones that were kind of like, man, you need to really go check this out. Asbury Short Film Concert is one of them. So if you have nothing to do on Friday night at 7:00, please come and check it out. Go to bensontheater.org for tickets to that. And then, of course, don't forget the very next day, get dressed up, get swanky. Bonalto Ball's happening, 100th anniversary. Champagne toasts, caviar dreams, all those good things is going down here at the Benson Theater. So definitely check it out. And I appreciate you guys staying with us a little later on for me to talk about those things that are coming up this weekend. Yep. Thank you. Buddy, got anything else? Any words for the people?
Yeah. I mean, just a real quick, exit. Big shout out to Sister Kimara Snipe. I see you still in the chat, still hanging out. So definitely appreciate you. Thank you. Big shout out to One Omaha and the work that they are doing. And I'll shout out to you, all the chat chimers, all the ghost listeners, everybody for embarking on this experience as always with us. We really do appreciate it. We really do love it, man. And real genuine conversation, real genuine folks. We genuinely appreciate you. Love you and thank you. So until next time, take care of yourselves. In the meantime, in between time, catch the same time, same place. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, take it away.
Man, thanks for everybody that has come through today. And thanks for Kimara, especially for joining us and sharing all that great information. Really, really great. That Miss Erica Phelps says, wonderful Wednesday show. Lots to think on and lots to learn. Please drink water and be good to yourselves. Appreciate that very much. And we appreciate you and everybody. If you've missed any parts of this show, definitely check it out on Friends on First Sky Omaha, the Facebook page, and also YouTube. Definitely check out the chat. Good questions, good comments in the chat when you go back and review what's going on there. Definitely, man, I'm going to definitely go back myself and check it out because Miss Kimara Snipes has so much jam-packed information. I watched her interviews a couple of times just to get everything that she's talking about in there. So that's what's up. Appreciate that very much. And if I ever get to the point where I can sit here and take notes when she's talking, I'll do that. I'll take her example and take some notes while she's going for it. Because it's always like Miss Whitney Richardson said, it's a course. It's like it's like a college course, right? So appreciate all that information in your leadership and intelligence. Really appreciate that very much. Also want to give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. I want to give a shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And I want to give a shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Really appreciate everybody's comments and questions today. Also want to give a special thanks to the people who we kind of went through our membership last night and just reminding ourselves about who you are out there that are supporting this with your dollars. So we really appreciate that. The $10 people, the $25 people, the $50 people. Really appreciate it very much, man. Seeing a good correlation on chat chimers. According to Chad Chimers and according to the people who are members and people who don't really come on and do too much chat but still support, and all those kind of delineations are very interesting to check out from time to time. So we appreciate everybody who's on participating and all the ones that are just silently supporting. We appreciate you too, and that includes you, the ghost listeners, as well. Yep. So thank you very much. Appreciate you, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here now. You guys take care of yourself. We're working on a special guest for Friday, so stay tuned for that. And we'll hopefully see you at some of these meetings around town too. And so we can continue that conversation even outside of here and on Friends of First Sky Omaha while we're not live. So thank you very much for that. And you guys have a good one.
Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red